with the Nintendo Switch 2 on the way, I thought it would be interesting to kind of go over what my hopes are for the console. Nothing too out of hand, per se. I try to be realistic when it comes to my expectations for certain games or certain products or certain properties. That being said, let's kind of start with the elephant in the room here. The Switch Online is not good. It is not good. Personally, I think Nintendo could learn a lot from their past success with the classic collections or retro, WiiWare and all that other stuff. I really think that they had a formula back then that worked, and especially now with digital games being more popular because buying isn't owning anymore, I think it would be better if they just let us buy the games flat out and give the service as an alternative, because that way they can make a lot more money and we could quote-unquote semi-own the product, I guess. Next thing I would probably try and do is the music app is good. I kind of want to see it on the Switch. If I'm home and I don't want to use my phone for music or something like that, or, I want to make the Switch music app, a big thing, because I love listening to Friend-Drana Drifts from Metroid Prime. I think it's one of Nintendo's best tracks for Metroid. I also listen to Mario Galaxy a lot. Probably more than than the average person would, I'd say. That being said, the music app itself is not intuitive. In fact, I don't even think it connects to my Apple CarPlay. I've never looked, but it's one of those things that Nintendo really needs to help market. Also, their classic controllers that go to the Switch, the NES controller, the SNES controller, I think both definitely deserve to be on the normal market. Nintendo kind of just privatizes them, and the only way you can get them is either going to the Nintendo store in New York or going online and getting them, I believe. Or you could buy them from a scalper, because Nintendo allows that still. Although, I will say they waited so long to get the Switch 2 out just so that they had enough units, which is good. Now, game-wise, though, let's start out with probably what is going to be the Breath of the Wild equivalent here. Metroid Prime 4 might be coming out both on the Switch and the Switch 2. I think that we've waited long enough, considering they tried doing it in the first place, and they said, oh god, we can't do this, go get Retro, please. It was one of those things that I think the Metroid fanbase has been kind of clamoring for this for years, especially since its announcement, all the way back when the Wii U was still on store shelves. It's just high time we get this, and I think also with the Prime remaster, I think it's good to get the trilogy either before or after. I'm not picky. I just remember still having it on the Wii, and knowing that I can't complete it because of the online achievements. Now, Zelda fans have been eating really good for the Switch, and I mean really good. We had Breath of the Wild at launch, we had Tears of the Kingdom towards the end, we had Hyrule Warriors somewhere in the middle, we had the, NSO content, in between. The only thing that this console system doesn't even have is just Wind Waker and Twilight Princess. I'm not kidding. So, honestly, I'm just going to keep it realistic. I don't want a new Zelda game. We already had Echoes of the Wisdom towards the end of the console's life anyway, and I think it's not in the cards right now for Nintendo to just be like, yeah, let's throw more Zelda at them. Let's throw them newer Zelda. No, let's just keep it chill. Let's just port the games in a dual pack, please, or at least keep them at a $30, $40 minimum, because they are ridiculously priced right now because they haven't been ported. Now, with Mario Kart 9 on the way, that leaves a lot of room for speculation. We could start off with a 3D Mario, for example. We just had Wonder, and that was... Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, I thought Wonder was terrible. Basically just a prettier new Super Mario Brothers. That's it. Nothing crazy, nothing new. They even did the hands floating thing for the millionth time. But Galaxy 3 or Sunshine 2, if I had to pick between the two of them, I'd say the more likely one is Sunshine 2, only because they really snubbed Galaxy 2 upon the release of the 3D All-Stars pack. No one cared about the DS version but me, which, okay, sure, fine. And Galaxy 2 wasn't that hard to port. I'm sorry, it was on the Wii U for their Classic Collection or whatever that you could buy, and it was totally fine. In fact, I think I still have it on mine, just because, even though I have a physical copy with a completed save file. I won't hold my breath for, an All-Stars Collection 2, where it actually adds every 3D Mario collection, because Nintendo doesn't like giving their things away for free. If you read Reggie's book or, bothered to look at Nintendo's history, you'd know that. I think Kirby is also good for now, seeing as he's kind of gotten a decent amount of love on the console. I mean, geez, there was, Forgotten Lands, Star Allies, Kirby fans have been eating not as good as Zelda fans, but they've been eating well enough. They can sit down. Let's talk about another recent release, which was Mario Party Jamboree. I think, at the very least, a compilation of Mario Parties 4 through 7, kind of like Superstars was, in the same vein, where they take the best of whatever, and they use that. In terms of, let's just say, a Wario game and a Yoshi game, I think both would be fine. I think Nintendo needs to show a little love to them or other franchises, but if I had to actually pick a Wario or Yoshi game, I'd actually just want Woolly World. I think that was a game that was sorely lacking for the Wii U to Switch port. We just got Xenoblade Chronicles X, ironically enough, and in my opinion, it's better than Crafted World. I'm sorry, I know Crafted World is the newer game and everyone loves it, I just don't care for it. It doesn't have that charm, I don't know what it is, but I played like a few levels of it, and I actually got bored of it. Speaking of boredom, I never dug Animal Crossing. I know it was a big thing during the events of 2020, but I was playing Doom Eternal, so that doesn't really help my situation. I've played it, I have an island, I got the Mario stuff, I got everything, I have an island there. But, it's mainly just to play with friends or, Anyway, Splatoon 2 and 3 are fine. They're on the Switch, and they have DLC, and it's backwards compatible. Splatoon fans, you're fine, you're satisfied. Please, for the love of everything that is holy, just stop. Just stop. You were great on the Wii U, and then everything just took off. If anything, you should just port Splatoon 1, and in its entirety. Speaking of things taking a back seat, Pokemon, for whatever reason, has been very, very hit or miss. And it really doesn't make me feel that great when it comes to, I guess, how Legends of Arceus was great. A game in that vein is perfect. But how formulaic Sun and Moon were compared to the effort that went into it, it was broken. I didn't even bother buying it. I didn't look at it. I didn't want it. I haven't been that big of a Pokemon fan, actually, ironically enough, since Red and Blue or Fire and Leaf Green on the Game Boy. I loved it as a kid, but I think it became too much of a conglomerate for me to continue being a big fan of. Not to say I don't love Pokemon, I love the classics. I still play them, I still love them, I still have my Pokemon Yellow cartridge. That's not the problem. The problem is just, I am not a big Pokemon fan, but I can see why people would want something better. Legends of Arceus was definitely the best on the Switch, and they need to do something more like that. Now let's also talk about Mario sports games, because they could use a bit of a revival. They haven't been fun or entertaining kind of since the GameCube era, or the Wii era, I guess, if you want to, count them, because they were just the same game ported with motion controls. I think there's some kind of compilation maybe that they could have of, the best of or something. I'm not sure, but I know if GameCube comes to Switch Online or something along those lines, it's not gonna happen. But, Mario Baseball was the best back in the day. You said tell me otherwise. Alright, let's talk about the big elephant in the room. The one that's getting the most rumors right now, the one that people are talking about the most. Let's talk about Smash Bros. A while back, I saw hiring reports for, an action game, remake, something along those lines. And I was thinking, Kid Icarus, right? That's what I want, because I'm a big Kid Icarus Uprising fan. And as much as I love the series and franchise, I don't think that's getting another game for another 25 years. I will be 50 by the time it comes out. Unless Nintendo decides to hit up Sakurai and be like, hey, you want to make this? You want to do this? Because we need you. You know, unless they, like, Avengers assemble him way earlier than expected. They know their cash cow from him, though, is Smash Brothers. And Sakurai also knows that that's his baby and he doesn't want anyone else to touch it. The thing is, how do you beat Ultimate? The answer is you can't. You should do something different. But there's two ways I could see this. One, they try to beat Ultimate and just add, like, a bunch of DLC, and they add, like, a bunch of... Oh, gosh, like, maybe the stages we didn't get before, like Orbital Gate really shocked me not coming back. You know, a lot of the traversal stages didn't come back. Even though we had traversal stages, the vertical ones were the ones that were snubbed, and I think, you know, as a part of, like, gaming history, they should have been at least, you know, ported over, maybe not retextured or anything. They've done that before between Melee and Brawl, and I think Brawl and Ultimate? I'm not entirely sure. No. Brawl and the Wii U version. I think. I'm not entirely sure. I'd have to play the Wii U version again. That being said, we could also have, like, kind of a Subspace Emissary type thing, because as much as I loved World of Light, and I thought it was suitable because Sakurai did not like cutscenes being led onto YouTube, I thought it was fine, even though, ironically enough, it got leaked anyway, which, wow, how did that, I don't know, but it happened. Alright, let's also just kind of talk a little bit about Nintendo's Forgotten Children. Anything with Earthbound, unfortunately, I'm sorry, is just, it's gone. It's gone, it's dead. I don't think Nintendo's gonna touch that franchise forever. No Mother 3, no Mother 64, no Earthbound 64, no Earthbound 3, no nothing. It's been an ongoing joke. It has been something that we've been wanting. I've actually never played any of the Earthbound or Mother games. Never. I say we as Nintendo fans, but, you know, it's just been a joke at this point. I will say Fire Emblem has been pretty good on the Switch, and I wouldn't say they're a forgotten child. I would say they are popularized because of Smash Brothers. That is their history, and I just never liked the game played to begin with. I'm not a tactical RPG kind of guy. I'm good at them, I just hate them. Actually, not as much as sports games, though. I like normal sports games, forget it. They're, like, the worst. That being said, I would say F-Zero, I would like to see it. I want to, but the problem is that they outdid themselves so well on the GameCube game that I can't see anything else being done. Like, in terms of, you know, power-ups or raceways or something like that, like if they added a, I don't know, story or something, I just can't see it being outdone. If you think it could be outdone, you know, it's been years, maybe they could just port something. I would be down for that. I would be down to see a revival of F-Zero, not F-Zero 99, which was satisfactory, I guess, but it wasn't worth the hubbo. Let's see. I'm trying to think, what else did we need? Oh, the Nintendo Land. You know, that, I'm sorry, if that was done right, they could port it over. I know you need, like, 2 Switches for it, but at the same time, if you just have, like, like, Nintendo Land, you have to play with friends anyway, right? Most of us have a Switch already, and if they had, like, a download play thing where you could connect the Switch 1 as a screen, I would be fine with that. I'm not saying it's possible, I'm not saying it's impossible, I'm not, you know, a dev on the Switch's architecture. I will say, though, it's probably the worst forgotten game on the Wii U. That is probably going to be the one next to Labo, which will be Forgotten Games to Time. Which is unfortunate, because they're good games. I feel like there should be something to preserve them. Something. I mean, Labo was terrible. It was a weird thing. They were trying to capture Iwata's magic, and they just did not do that great of a job. I will say, in terms of all of the lost children here for Nintendo, the most likely one, I would say, let's see, Metroid isn't lost, Zelda isn't lost, Kirby is definitely not. I just, Kid Icarus is my go-to. I will say Kid Icarus is my go-to when it comes to that kind of stuff. They had a lot of marketing for it back then. A lot of people still love it. Project Steam lost steam. I'm sorry, it lost steam. With the Switch 2 coming out, though, I feel like people are starting to show a lot more respect and love for the Wii U. I will say I think the rest of the library for what can be ported, we got Xenoblade Chronicles X. That's another thing that came out. I think, just completing that library of ports is optimal for the Nintendo, Switch 2 to kind of, wrap up the legacy of the Wii U. As much as I'm not happy as a Wii U owner that all those games got ported, I can understand why. And I'm glad that, people got to play these wonderful titles even after the fact. So I almost forgot about the one lost child of Nintendo that I think deserves a lot more respect, and that is Star Fox. Star Fox is one of those game franchises that people have loved, hated, and loved again, and then went back to hating, to now mutually respecting it. If they can just put Star Fox Zero on the Switch 2 and remove the motion controls, people would actually love the game. I love the game regardless of the motion controls because all I did was just stay still, and I played a Star Fox game. That was it. So I don't think all of the necessary slander for Star Fox Zero was that bad of a thing, right? I think people just overplayed it, but I understand the desire to remove or have it be an option. Though, the Slippy game was, it was not good. It was something. I'm glad that Wii U project got finished, because I remember seeing Miyamoto with that whole tactical RPG thing back in the day, and it was, it was something. Glad to see, Toad isn't the only one getting a little bit of love as a side character. But speaking of Toad, I don't think we need another Captain Toad treasure tracker. I think it's one of those side characters that just evolved from Mario Galaxy into something new that I'm okay with. I mean, Toadsworth is dead, but, that's fine. We have Captain Toad now. Haven't seen Toadette really outside of Mario Party. And, it's one of those things where I don't know where else, I would put my money on when it comes to the Switch. That being said, it's probably going to be good because the stock market right now for, if you invest in stocks and stuff like that, Nintendo is actually halted right now. Yeah, I can't buy stocks, I can't trade stocks, I can't do anything. So, people are waiting for this. People are excited for this. People want this. They've wanted this for years. And it's funny that was the immediate thing after the Switch launched because of the hardware limitations. I just hope that we don't get another Wii U situation. Because again, this is part of Nintendo's console curse. Although, we don't count the handhelds, I guess. And you know what? It's one of those things where I think it's just superstition. I will say, though, since this is the first console that Iwata has not touched since his unfortunate passing, I will say it bears caution. I think it bears caution at the very least. I think Donkey Kong fans have also been good with the remake and Tropical Freeze, but they do deserve something a little more as well. I'm sorry I didn't mention it. It was just one of those things where I didn't know if I wanted to put Donkey Kong or not. But then talking about Iwata and Tropical Freeze, it just, and recent events made me kind of at least mention it, because Donkey Kong's one of those characters where he doesn't have a lot of his own games. Usually they have Mario in them or something like that. We had the Mario and Donkey Kong mini remake afterwards, and we had Donkey Kong Country Returns HD, which, again, I have the Wii version, and it's fine. I mean, it's just a port. I don't know why, it was needed, per se. I think they should just have a duology pen. for the Switch 2. I think that would have been a lot better. I think a lot of people would have been happy going from one game to the other. But hey, what are you gonna do? Other than that, I don't think... Yeah, no, that's actually pretty much it. Let me know what you guys think down below, though, of what you want to see for Switch 2. And let me know if you guys think that I went way too far on some of my predictions or wants or desires. Let me know down below what you guys think. Alright, later.
Hey there, everyone. It's pretty late tonight, and I'm just trying to do some editing, and I'm glad I could get this episode out before they released a little more about the Switch 2. Just like, comment, subscribe, and healthy tip of the day. Beetroot, or beet juice, I should say, has nitrous oxide in it, which is really good for blood flow. I actually had it today for pre-workout for the gym. So, you know, it worked out pretty well. With that in mind, guys, please also support this game. I would love to outsell Sonic Boom. It's on Steam for Windows. It's 99 cents. You don't have to. I'm not forcing you to buy it. But, you know, any love or support is great. And you all have a wonderfully blessed day. All right, bye.